Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. Today's episode is going to be working on a Toyota Highlander. This appears to be a pretty common problem that Toyota probably ought to address. So a lot of these Highlanders are getting up there in age. The one that we're working on, I think it's a 2002 3-liter. I don't think it matters if it's the 4-cylinder or the 3-liter though. Anyway, what we got going on is Evap codes, a whole slew of them. This vehicle has a new charcoal canister. The solenoid that mounts to the air filter box has also been replaced. We smoked it. Took forever to get some smoke to come out of it. In fact, I bought a newer, more powerful smoke machine to even be able to get any smoke to come out of it. And where that was coming out was the top of the tank. You already know what I'm talking about, don't you? If you're deep into this job right now, you're saying to yourself, what am I going to do to fix this because these parts are not available? Let me show you what they are. Now, I don't know what, not too sure what Toyota calls these exactly. They're vents. They look like a little hat. But look, all these things are busted. Your evap leaks are coming from there. Let's see. Like this one here, completely annihilated. Stuff all gone. This here is the pressure sensor for the tank. That also is bad. And this is going to require a different fix than the rest of it. And then here's the last one. This is probably the best shape of any of them right here. This little hat just kind of sits on top of a valve. Let me show you this valve real quick. There's another one that doesn't have this on the top, but it's a valve. This is partially why we weren't getting any smoke out of it, because it's got to get past this too. This is a picture of the tank when we took it out. As you can tell, it's been leaking right there in those two vents. The one that wasn't leaking is the one that I said was better, actually resides right here. But we're going to do that while we're in here because there's no point in taking this tank back out. If you're here, you've probably read my video title and you have been searching for these parts and you can't find them. Well, they don't exist. At least current right now, June of 2026, you cannot buy these. So I scoured the internet. I'm sorry, it's a long story, but I scoured the internet. After a couple hours of research, I found a solution. And it's these guys right here. So this actually goes to a Tacoma, but it's metal. It's not going to come apart. It's not going to fall apart. It comes with a gasket on it. I think my brother paid about 35, 40 bucks for these. I can't remember what he said. But that's each, by the way. We need 3 of them. But we'll need to kind of maneuver and bend this around to accommodate the vacuum lines. I fully expect that I will be cutting some of these plastic lines. I would rather not cut the metal lines. If I can just bend these in a way to utilize the somewhat factory format, then we're going to do that. And then there's this guy. This little plastic fella right here that the pressure sensor sits on. This here is your vapor pressure sensor. This measures how much vapor pressure is in the fuel tank. But since we don't have that, I'm going to put a link in the description to this guy's page. Thank you very much. I don't remember your name, but I will put it right here. But this guy uploaded a 3D model of this to Thingiverse, And we're going to be using that to house this. It's well known that this thing is absolute junk. Also, a huge shout out to Randy for printing these for me. Randy came through for me again. He's 3D printed a couple other things that I've used on the channel, and it's worked like a champ. I don't see any reason why this won't. I'm just going to take you guys over and just show you kind of what we're going to do. Here are some more bits and pieces that broke off of those plastic pieces of junk. Okay, so if you recall, there's kind of a T right in the middle. Yeah, she's gonna work just fine. And this one, probably need to remove these plastic holders because we're not going to be using them. But I need to kind of direct this over to here and maybe put this T over here somewhere. But I think before I do all that, I'm going to come over here and just get this sensor out of the way, because this could, there is kind of a cover that sits on this that could, that's this little fella right here. I want to be sure we're clearing that before I go through all the hassle of doing this. So let's work on this first. All right, so to get this old one out of here, we got to get this little this lock. Let's put something on top of there so we don't drop anything down. And I think we should be able to just kind of maneuver this thing out of here like so. Okay, this sensor should, in theory, I think it's just got an O-ring holding it in. I think we just wiggle. Oh. There we are. Okay, here is the new one. Actually, let's make sure that. Sweet. I think we can actually just push this straight down. And this here should just slide right in. Should and do are two different things though. There we go. Alright. Sweet. Alright, so let's go ahead. Just want to make sure these are all the same gasket. Oh crap. I forgot to put the metal thing back on there, dang it. Okay. We got to be sure to put that on there. If you look, there is a little indentation for that. Not very big though. Okay. Let's slide this on there now. Okay. Oops. Push that in. And it is now locked in. Now we need this gasket here. I gotta line up all these holes, and I really don't understand how this screw is gonna be long enough. I might have to go get some longer screws. Alright, I just made sure that these screws are long enough for this. They are. So, I guess I'm gonna have to go get some more screws. How much longer are we talking? Another ½ inch or so? Yeah, probably about that. Okay,
Later that same evening.
So I went over and I got some M4 by 0.7 is the thread, and they're 16 millimeters long. Hopefully they're not too long. Alright, well there it is. And this guy plugs in here. Then this little hat thingamajig. Alright. Alright, now we can go ahead and move along with some of this other stuff. I'm going to go ahead and put these screws in here. I'm actually going to just take these off of here because we're not going to need them. Alright, so in case you haven't noticed, these came with gaskets already. So we're just using the screw kits that came with the tank. This is a brand new tank, in case you haven't noticed. This one started. There we go. So that's basically where this thing needs to sit. We're not reusing any of this stuff. I'm just going to cut these where we need them. We'll just go from there. So I think I'm going to cut these right here in the bend. Alright, I just got a dry erase and, you know, made a mark where we need it about. I can't find my mini tubing cutter, but this one here should work just fine. So I have to raise it up a little bit. Move this over. Feels like we're about done. Alright. Got that. Now let's do the other one. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go get some scissors and we're gonna work these on there. So we're just gonna be reusing this part right here. All right, so that's where we're at. All right, I was racing the clock here. I really needed to get this done. So I'm just going to show you what I came up with, and I think it's going to work really, really well. So I did end up kind of snaking these in a manner that we could make it work. I went over to AutoZone and got some fuel line and put it right here. It'll work. And then this one here, I left that at full length. I just bent it around. This stuff was all kind of jacked up when we pulled it out, so I just put a zip tie to hold it against this one. It looks like that's broken, that's why. Anyway, hopefully that zip tie will hold that there. This also broke, so I just ran a zip tie around it. But yeah, Tacoma parts fixing a Highlander. I really don't, there's not much more else to say, but I think it's going to work, and it's going to work fabulous. This just goes to show you that if you just take a little time and research, you can get this done. Here in Utah, 2002, this still needs to pass emissions, so you got to figure something out to make it work. The vehicle only has, I don't even think it has 100,000 miles on it, so research, guys, because if I can figure this stuff out, you can too. I will put the part numbers to everything that we use down below. Huge shout out to the fella that modeled these 3D prints, and also huge shout out to Randy for printing it for me. It is with nylon, by the way. You need to make sure that you print this stuff with fuel safe material. So this is nylon 6, I believe he told me, which is 100% fuel safe. Plus we got the rubber gasket in between it anyway. Anyway, that's it. And Toyota, you really ought to make these things available again.